Greetings, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Michael. This is Strada Live coming at you today. And we've got another update today. We've got a big feature update that's really exciting, really good for people that need permission. So this is a pretty exciting experience. We've working hard on this, and we've also got some other things that are happening that I want to share with you. So I want to get right to it first off here. Let's see here. Let me get right into this. So on the call, we've got my brother, we've got Margot, we got Shannon, we've got Austin, and we want your questions. I have an iPad here so I can see questions that you provide. So please ask questions about the product, about features, about the workflow, and the roadmap. And I'm happy to answer them as we go through them live. Plus, I have a special guest today, and I'll announce him in a little bit. But we have a special guest today coming from, kind of a pretty cool hard drive company, wink, wink. So we'll get back to that in a second. But before I do, I want to just point out again, we are going to go over a brand new feature that was released yesterday. It's brand new. You have it. It's available in Strada, and it is permissions. Previously, we had 2 levels of permissions. Now we have 4 levels of permissions. And the way we do permissions is not only really high quality for security and professionalism, it's very clever and very powerful because I'm going to demonstrate how you can mix permissions together depending on what layer of a hard drive or a folder you're going to connect to. It's very different. It's very powerful. So get your workflow hats on because this is a totally new way of doing workflow that is actually a lot better than how clouds do permissions. In clouds, they will effectively just invite someone to a project, and then whoever's in that project can see everything. Sometimes you can try to make private folders, but that's called negative permissions. And nobody understands negative permissions. What that means is, like, if you're invited to a directory and there's one folder that you're locked out of, that's a negative permission. It's confusing. People don't trust it. They don't like it. It doesn't make sense. It's like you're in a room and you can have access to everything except for this one box that has a lock on it. It's confusing. And if you're the one that has the key to that lock, you're not always sure if everyone in the room also has a key. So it gets confusing. We've beaten that. We've got something better. It's smoother. It's cleaner. It's easier. And we have 4 levels of control, which is really cool. So I'm going to get into the new roles and permissions in a little bit. But before I do that, I want to point out something really nice. We have a new Strada explainer. My brother Pete will put it in the chat. Sometime if you need to see what Strada is in a short demonstration, this video is great. Watch this, share it, send it to your producers, send it to your editors, your post-production supervisors, your directors, your DPs, your VFX supervisors. Send it to them so they can understand the essence of what Strada is. I admit I'm long-winded. I know that. So it's really hard for me to get things really short and sweet. All my close friends know this, but it's just how I'm built. So this video, I worked really hard and my brother Peter helped me and we made something really short. And so this is 2 minutes and 30 seconds, maybe 2:20. And it demonstrates why we build Strada, what the problem is, how we solve it, and how it works. And so that's a 2-minute version of the Strada story. So you can check that out. And it's really easy to consume. It's also on our webpage, on our homepage. But, if you want to have the YouTube link to share around, now you have it. So check that out. We also are very excited, and I'm so proud of our engineering team. We have some great engineers here, and 2 of them, Pallavi and Earl, worked really hard along with Austin to build Strada Mobile. And I am so proud to say, as of today, we are now on both the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. So this is so exciting. Strada is on both the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. And this is really exciting for a couple of reasons. One, the truth is, this is my red hydrogen. If you remember these guys, here's the red hydrogen. There it is right there. This is my Android phone. And I had this is like circa 2018. And so what's cool about this is if you run Android, then you probably don't have an app for creative collaboration because nobody in the creative collaboration space built an Android solution. And that's really disappointing. It's really sad that there are not Android products out there. Strada, even though I use Mac, I used to use Android. And my brother and I have owned many post houses. we have probably owned far more Windows machines than we have owned Mac machines. So I personally use a Mac, but I love Windows and have used it for decades. And then I love iPhone, but I also have had Android. So like, I want to make sure you know that Strada cares about Android and Windows. And this is not just an Apple-centric company. The world is bigger than that. And so we want to support that. The other reason this is really significant is we release these at the same time. We're talking iPhone and Android phones have a mobile application with Strada, and we released it at the same time. So there's no excuse for you not to try it. There's also no excuse why other people haven't built Android, but for whatever reason, they've devalued the Android experience, which I think is wrong. But we've got it there. And so here you can see this is Strada running on my old Hydrogen phone right there. And I can click on my files, and I'm going to take you through it in a little bit. Now, Fletch on YouTube says, I am aiming to replace LucidLink Classic with Strada for remote editing in Premiere Pro. Seems that Strada is not ready yet for this task. Am I missing something? Fletch, is it Fletch? Fateh. I might have it wrong. It's a little, I'm sorry if I get your name wrong. Fateh, I apologize. I said your name wrong. But you want to replace LucidLink Classic with Strada. So today, some people have done that. I'm a LucidLink user. I like LucidLink. It's a great product. But the problem I have with LucidLink, there's two problems. One, you have to upload to a cloud in order to use it. And two, the cloud storage with LucidLink is really expensive. It's like $72 per terabyte. So if you are using LucidLink, most people that use LucidLink upload files to Lucid, and then they have to download those files to a cache, right? You use Lucid to put them there. Yes, they're stored there. You have to upload it. Then they download them to a cache. And when you're editing in Premiere Pro, you're actually editing off of a local cache from LucidLink. So what I want to challenge you, Fateh, is that you are paying $72 per terabyte to use Lucid as a Dropbox, because you're just putting it in Lucid and then you're localizing it to cache it to edit it. So you're not really editing off the cloud. The reason you're not editing off the cloud is not Lucid's fault. The cloud is actually really bad for editing off of, because the cloud cannot virtualize files and the cloud cannot compress them other than what they are. People don't build it that way. So what I mean is, if you put a file in LucidLink, my guess is it's a proxy file, because if you put a 4K ProRes file in LucidLink that's 1,000 megabits, you can't play it unless you have 1,000 megabits. And if you have a Dissolve or a multicam, you need 2,000 megabits of internet to play that back off Lucid. So what do? You compress it down, or you cache it locally, right? Does that sound familiar? This should sound familiar. This is how it works. What Strada does is allows you to just do a single transfer. So instead of uploading to Lucid, you just transfer it directly to the editor anyway, and you put it on one of these drives. I've got several OWC drives here. I got a Thunderblade. I've got a Gemini right here. I got an Express. These are all drives that you're able to just store them right on, and then you edit locally anyway. Now, I want to say some people are using Strada instead of LucidLink today, and that's a good start. But what we are working on is absolutely what you're going to want, which is where Strada becomes a virtual file system, and then you can edit off Strada, which is peer-to-peer, without transferring at all. We're going to get more into that in 2026. And so you got to stick with us. But we really recommend you look at LucidLink today as a great solution. Maybe you're using it today and you're happy. That's fine. Look at Strada as a tool in your toolbox. Sign up. It's way cheaper than LucidLink, and you can start working it into your workflow. And as we grow, don't think you have to swap Strada and LucidLink out for each other. That's really not how good workflows work. You don't just swap things out altogether. What you do is you experiment with new things and you broaden and modify your workflows. Strada can come into your workflow today, and I guarantee you it will start solving problems, because not everyone on your team uses LucidLink. Not everyone on your team has a LucidLink seat. In fact, you can actually connect Strada to LucidLink. I can even show you how to do that, where Strada can actually display LucidLink. And I have LucidLink access on my phone, which is really, really cool. Let me just show you that right now. If you look at my screen right here, I've got a LucidLink file system right there. You can see I also have LucidLink Classic, right? So there it is right there. And if I click on my Strada agent, here is the agent. This is my Strada LucidLink file space. See, LucidLink for me is called Strada. That's the name of my file space. So now watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to bring up my phone. Here is my phone. And we're looking at my phone right here. You can see there's my home screen. I click on Strada, and you can see Mr. Cioni. You see right there, it says Strada. That is actually my LucidLink file system. So watch this. If I click on Mob Scene right here on my phone, I can see all these files right here, and I can hit play. And if I go to LucidLink and I go to the same folder, Mob Scene, and look at this, I can see files right here, and I can hit play. So here are the same files in Lucid and the same files on my phone playing back, right? So now if I hit play here and I hit play here, there we go. Look at that. We're playing these back. This is on my phone. This is actually off LucidLink. So we're able to do this at the same time. I'm going to pause that because it's loud, but you can see this is the same LucidLink experience on my phone. And you can see even down here, I have a couple of these stills, and on my phone on the left, there they are as well. So like everything here is the same. That is a very powerful integration that works right now. So I'm getting a little off script here, but that's okay. I appreciate the question that came in from Fateh right there. And I, again, apologize if I got your name wrong. And remember, Fateh, you are able to do this on iOS and Android. And that's what we're really proud of. We are delivering a desktop experience that works on Mac and Windows and iOS and Android. And you can connect it all together. Think of us as another tool in your toolbox, and we'll make it work. Fateh says, thanks for the response. I'm hoping Strada launches a LucidLink kind of implementation ASAP. That is what we're working on. I promise you. Austin, I hope you're listening. And Fateh says, you are correct. Once the project's finished, we have to copy back all the files back to the NAS to free up space and save costs. 100%. I want to eliminate those costs. That's why I use OWC drives. They give me speed, they give me capacity and power, and they give me low cost with high performance. And it's way cheaper to own these drives than to rent cloud storage. So it's really good. Okay, so I want to encourage everyone should sign up for Strada right now at strada.tech. I'm going to take you through it with a special guest in a minute, but then you can install the Strada apps on iOS and Android. These are our version 1 apps, but they work today, and it's available today. So this is 1.0. You can get it today. It's free. You can sign up for Strada for free. You could connect a terabyte of footage. You can connect 10 terabytes of footage for free. And I'm not just saying that. Like, connect 10 terabytes of footage if you have it, and you can browse it all on your phone for free. That's true. Look it up. It'll work. It's really cool. Then you can upgrade and you can transfer more and more files. So when you connect your phone, you're able to access all of those drives. You can access even remote drives. And I'm going to have a friend join me in a few minutes, and he's going to invite me to a drive, and I'm going to view his drive on my phone. Think about that. Viewing other people's drives that you're invited to on your phone. Very powerful. You can download and you can share through the phone. This is the ecosystem that's really important to us. Apple, Windows, iOS, and Android. And this is our commitment, is we have added a lot of surface area to the product. You know, I want to be honest. When we were at NAB in April, at NAB, we built just a desktop solution for Apple, and people screamed, we've got to start building Windows. And we went to Cinegear and we started building Windows. Then we took Windows and we started hearing people say, we want mobile, we want iOS. We started building that. And people said, we need Android. So we started building that. We listen to our customers, and we're trying to build with you. And that's why we do these live every Tuesday, so that we can communicate, capture your feedback, and get the story right and get the product right. We don't believe that we can build this product by ourselves. We certainly don't think we can get it right by ourselves. That's why we communicate with you, and we rely on you to give us the feedback to ensure that we're getting it right. So the messages that are coming in here ensure that we do that. But you've also got to sign up, use the product, get the mobile clients, get them running, and connect it with your workflows so that you understand what we need to build next. And Fateh, I think he gave a great idea about us making sure that we build a LucidLink experience. Seth, good to see you again. Seth says, does Strada make the priority call between different features you want to build, specifically remote editing and review versus commenting? How does Strada make the priority call? Look, it comes down to user feedback. The more people tell us they want something, the higher up it goes in the priorities list. It's that simple. People tell us what they want. They write it on Discord. They send us messages. They join here. They tell us. So, if I were to ask you, if you're listening, would you rather have a Lucid-like experience so that you could edit off of remote drives without transferring any files and without uploading, or would you rather have commenting? Tell me which one of those is more important to you today: remote virtual editing or feedback and commenting without uploading. Both of them are going to be without uploading to a cloud. That's how that works. So you could always let us know which you prefer. And then Derek Morrison, thank you for the compliment. I have 122 terabyte browsing capability on my phone. I love that. Derek's obviously connected 122 terabytes to his phone. So he's using either Strada on iOS or Android, and he's able to have that on his phone. For me, Derek, it's really about a confidence. Like, I feel peace of mind that I can always see my stuff when I'm traveling and moving around, and that I can always see my drives. It's really great. And then I get ideas when I'm on the go that I want to show people things, and I don't have to worry whether or not it's uploaded or not. I can just show them. So it's kind of cool that if I knew something wasn't uploaded, I would never think to show it to somebody. The fact that I know it's always available means I will show it to someone. I come up with ideas. Being always available is really important to us. We want to be a product that gives you total access to all your media. And now we're doing it on Mac and Windows and iOS and Android. So it's pretty exciting. So very, very cool stuff. Okay. Strada, look, you heard me say it a few times. We want to ditch the cloud. The cloud is not all bad. It's not all bad. And we have plans to integrate cloud in the future, but for cloud to be the ultimate way to store all your media, no, that's not a great way to work. Cloud is just too expensive. Your internet's too slow, and your camera files are just too big to do that. So we are building the first peer-to-peer collaboration platform for creative professionals, and we want people to have peer-to-peer access so they don't have to rely on the expensive cloud storage. And that's what we are really all about. Now, these other cloud products, we've talked about a few of them. They're great. I've been a subscriber of all these cloud products, but because they're clouds, we are 100% faster than them. People ask me, if I have to, what's the difference between LucidLink or Dropbox or Google Drive or Frame.io from Strada? We have 100% access to your drive faster because we can access it without uploading it. Right? When you have large files, you have to upload them to a cloud. That's really hard. That really takes a lot of time. But with Strada, you can get people reviewing without uploading. So it's 100% faster to get that first viewing of any asset. In fact, one of our users, Kyle, he told us that a client of his connected a drive with 2 hours of footage on it, and Kyle was making comments on that footage instantly, and the client was just blown away because the client didn't understand what Strada did. They were just they installed it thanks to Kyle. And then Kyle said, I'm looking at the footage and he's starting to make preparations. And the client's like, I just plugged the drive in 2 minutes ago. How can you have this? That's the power of Strada. And that really, it really elevates your game when it comes to you being a creative professional. We will not charge for cloud. In the way that we store files, there is no storage. So it's your drives. Since it's your drives, I'm not going to charge you for it. So you save money there. And your entire library is available. Just like it was mentioned a second ago, some people can connect hundreds of terabytes of files. It's always available. So you don't have to decide what goes up and what doesn't. So Christopher Axford on YouTube says, with our iPhone as a camera, using the Blackmagic app and Blackmagic Cloud, we can edit proxies in DaVinci Resolve while iPhone is filming. It's a complete workflow. But for Sony FX cameras, we don't have a solution to upload directly to Resolve. Could Strada be a solution for us? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Because whatever camera it is, Sony, Canon, Red, Arri, Fuji, Panasonic, it doesn't matter. What you simply do is you take the card out of the camera, the hard drive or the card, and maybe this is a camera card, a CF card or CFast or whatever. And then you just plug it into the computer and you share it instantly. I share files all the time. Pete, if you can look up episode 43, I think it is. I could be wrong, but look up the push episode. So Christopher, my brother's going to put a link to an episode. You should watch this episode. It's about 15 minutes long, but it will show you a Blackmagic workflow and a non-Blackmagic workflow in the same episode. I think it's 43 or I think, Pete, but I could be wrong. It could be 46, but we'll get that right. But Christopher, watch this episode and you'll see how Strada is installed on a DIT cart or a data manager's cart and instantly sharing files directly to the crew, the creative people, and the editor from a DIT's cart. And it doesn't have to go through Blackmagic Cloud. Plus, with Blackmagic Cloud, and Blackmagic's a great product, I use it, but with Blackmagic Cloud, you have to upload from the camera. And I've learned, I am a pioneer in camera to cloud technology. If you look me up, if you don't know me, look up my name, Michael Cioni, and camera to cloud. You'll see this has been a passion of mine actually for 20 years. But here's the problem I learned. When we built camera to cloud at Frame.io, there's a major flaw with camera to cloud and Frame.io that we fixed with Strada. And that is the upload should not happen from the camera. Here's why. The camera has so many things about it and so many important attributes to be focused on that it isn't the best tool for uploading. And when something goes wrong, the camera crew doesn't have time to mess with it because they're the camera crew. And the camera, it's more important to record things than it is to be an uploader. That's why with Strada, putting the transfer experience on the data manager or DIT makes it way smoother because they can control things. They can troubleshoot. They have battery backups. They have power. They have internet, right? And so it works really well. So I think, Christopher, if you take a look at this episode, you'll see how Strada can really make your FX workflow amazing with Strada. So very, very exciting. Okay. Moving on, I want to show you what we built with permissions and roles. So this is brand new. This literally came out yesterday, and I'm so excited because we've been talking about it, and it works fantastic right now. So we used to have 2 layers of permissions. Now we have 4. So I want to take you through the 4 layers of permissions. Now, this is only available when you're on our unlimited plan. Strada has a free plan for reviewers. It has a basic plan for people that are just moving small files. And then it has an unlimited plan. When you're on the unlimited plan, you're able to get all of these permissions, which is amazing. So we're going to start with view only. Now, if you're an editor and you need to share results with a client, you can select things to be view only. So the client can't download that, which is really great. Even if this is for archives, if you're sharing it with anyone, if you want to get a job and you're like, oh, let me send a bunch of material that I worked on to a potential employer, you can just put that to them. They can browse it, they can view it, and they can't download it. So view only restricts people to that. The next one is download. Now you're giving people permission to actually download files. So they can obviously view it, they can browse the folders they've been invited to, and they can download them, which is really powerful. Next, you have edit mode. Edit gives you permission to create files, transfer files, and even delete folders. So when you think about this, it's kind of like how Google Drive works, where when you give people edit permission, they can make folders, they can move assets into different folders, they can initiate their own transfers and copies and things like that. Whereas a downloader or viewer cannot move the files or change the files. They can only view it or download it. Now an editor can start to move things, including make folders. Which is really cool. We don't have make folders right this second, but it's coming very soon so that when you transfer to someone's drive, you can create a new folder on their drive to put the files in. That's coming very soon. That's part of the editor privilege. And then the top is admin. This is permission for other users to invite collaborators to your drives. So this would be really good if you have a large, let's say in this case, I've got an OWC Gemini. Let's just say I've got a dozen terabytes here that is shared with a bunch of people. And I want all of my team to be able to access this drive. I might give all of my team admin access to this drive because then they can go into it. They can transfer anything. They can move files. They can manipulate files. And it's not going to contain anything that is not supposed to be shared with them. Now, I could also invite a client to the same drive and only give them view access to one folder. So I can, on the same drive, I can give people total access to everything and restricted access to one thing. That's the beauty of our permissions. Same drive, and it can be accessed in multiple different ways, which is really cool. So there it is again, view only, download permissions, edit permissions, which is transfer and move and delete, and then admin is invite others. When you add all these together, it's amazing new roles which is really, really great. So for free, you are able to get view only and edit. So we give people view and edit, and that allows people, I'm sorry, am I wrong? Is it download and edit? It's download and edit. They can download and edit. If you're on the free plan, you can download files and people could be an editor, which means they could transfer the files back and forth. So that's available for free. That's also available on the basic plan, the download and edit. So those are both available. So if you're just doing standard viewing and transferring, download and edit are always available. What you pay for the upgrade to the unlimited tier is to have view and admin. So it's the top and the very bottom. If you want view only, and you need to restrict view only, you pay for the view only privileges, because if you have clients that you only want them to have view only, you're probably getting paid to do that job. And so that's a paid upgrade for the unlimited plan. And then admin is a super high level of permissions control. You would use that only a little bit. You wouldn't use that very often, but it's available for that as well. So one more time, download and edit are free, and they're in the free plan and in the basic plan. And view and admin are in the unlimited plan, which is a whopping $24 a month. And you can transfer 200 terabytes a month and to anyone you wanted. It's really, really affordable. You cannot transfer hundreds and hundreds of terabytes or even hundreds and hundreds of gigabytes for $24, and you cannot stream them and view ProRes files unlimited. You could view and stream unlimited ProRes files. It's awesome. Chris says, I love these new permissions and roles. Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate that. Please try them out, test them, let us know how you use them. We want the feedback. Derek says, it would be great if Strada had a rsync to auto push that type of functionality to keep projects up to date and participate with all who collaborate. Derek, I like it. I understand it. We do believe someday we will build an rsync type of capability. We like what Resilio does. We love all that stuff. But Derek, what if you never had to upload it in the first place? What if you could just access it remotely and you could just edit it wherever it was and you wouldn't have to transfer it at all? And what if when you want to conform, you said just conform the high res and it would pull just the trims to you and move the trims to you? What if Strada could do that? Would you like that better than syncing everything? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you need to resync everything to every terminal. Or what if you never sync it except when you need it at the very end when you do a conform? How about that? That's sort of what we're thinking, but we want your feedback. So it could be really cool. And then remember, what we do like about syncing is it would increase backup and redundancy. So someday we will build a way to sync drives to each other. And that's important to us. But we need users and we need you to pay for the product so we can hire more engineers to build that sooner. This is a simple issue of economics. It is not ideas and it is not talent. We have the talent. We have the vision. We've got the foundation. We just need users so that we can hire more people so we can build this faster. I'll be honest. Fateh says, are there any plans to develop Strada integrations with Synology or QNAP so that it's naturally on the NAS? I was planning to get a Unify NAS and move away from QNAP. Is there a plan? Maybe I would stick with QNAP or Synology. Okay, so Fateh, so basically today you can connect those to Strada right now as long as they're connected to a computer. If you have a computer, could be a $400, $500 Mac Mini. If you connect that to the Synology or to the QNAP or whatever, the Unify, you can instantly connect those to Strada and share them. Then they're available to everybody. So that would work instantly. And you're just using that little Mac Mini as a server. Now, Strada has our first integration with a hardware appliance. That's called Facilis. Facilis, Pete could put the link in the chat. Facilis has an integration where Strada runs on the Facilis. Check this out. I will show you that right here. If you look at my Strada on my screen, and you can see right here, it says Hub X12. That's a Facilis. Facilis has a direct integration. So if I click on this and I go to Amsterdam, we were in Amsterdam. Here are all these files that are from this trip we had in Amsterdam. And now it's launching the player off the Facilis. I think this is in Boston is where it's actually located. I think that's where this Facilis is. I think that's right. And so I can see all the files that are here. and be able to view all these assets. So these are all located really far away. And I can see these assets here in the facility. So that's a case there where it's directly connected to a Facilis. But with QNAP and Synology and products like that, or Jellyfish, you would just run them on a server, which would be connected directly to a Mac today. So think about that. That's how it would work today. Someday we will build a Linux version of Strada and run them directly on QNAP or these other products. But that will take a while. That's not going to come right around the corner. So I want you to know that you're better off today installing a Mac Mini, connecting it to your NAS, and then sharing it from there. Chris says, does the client need to have the Strada client app installed for permissions to work correctly, or can they do that through the browser app only? Yes, the permissions work with whoever hosts the agent. So if you host the agent, you control the permissions. It's related to your local computer, meaning you can invite a client on a free plan and the permissions are respected by the client. So a client can't see anything except what you invited them to. So the permissions that you invite are controlled by you. And so the client doesn't have to do anything, and that will work fine. Okay, so what I want to do now is demonstrate all this, but I don't want to demonstrate it myself. I want to demonstrate it with a friend. This is John Hoeg, and John is joining us from OWC. And OWC, and I mean this, I have been a fan and used OWC drives long before right now, where we made friends with John. I've been a fan for a long time. In fact, I'm from Illinois. And my father, many, many years ago, decades ago, used to buy from OWC when I was a little kid. And so it goes a long way back because they're from Illinois. That's where a lot of OWC is still located. So we're big fans of what they do. So, John, I want to invite you to join us today. And I should be able to see John here. There he is. And Shannon, you have to tell me, am I showing my screen here? No, I don't. You can see, I don't have to do that. You do it. I should show the Zoom so he can screen share. You can go back and forth to your Strada. Got it. Okay, cool. So just figuring out how to do this. John, thank you so much for coming here. John, just real briefly, tell us what you do at OWC and why you actually love being a part of the OWC family.
So my job, thank you first of all for having me. I appreciate it. And my job is Director of Marketing Communications. And a lot of what we do is the storytelling around not what the OWC gear can do, but what you can do with the OWC gear. At the end of the day, these are just, storage devices that are on your desk, but we really like to empower creators in the media and entertainment industry and beyond with gear that's reliable and that lets you sort of accomplish your mission with technology not getting in the way. So that's what we do. And we do a lot of content here as well.
Well, and I appreciate you joining us today. And the other thing that's cool, if you look at my screen right here, I have an OWC Thunder Bay here. This is on a Mac Studio. Now, I just have my laptop here. Some people can see that. But I'm always connected to my Thunder Bay, which is 132 terabytes. And if I go back to our YouTube episode and I look at a couple of years of YouTube episodes, it's amazing that I can see all these episodes here and I can browse through all of them. I have access to everything, and I can even see the original files that are from, even years ago, which means a lot because if look at this, if I just randomly click on this file here, here is the raw files that I shoot. This file's 124 gigabytes, shot probably a year and a half ago. Why would I put 124 gigabytes in a cloud? I don't need to. It's living on my 132 terabyte OWC Thunder Bay. So I have the entire, this is like a 20-minute host link. You can see I'm in the same room. It's log. I can play that back in log. I can play that back not only right here, but watch this. If I go to my phone, and I'll bring that over here because this will be very, very meta. If I go to my phone, I can go to the exact same OWC drive. So I'll go to my Mac Studio, Thunder Bay. What episode was this? This was episode 13. So we'll see this. And this is how fast you can do this. Most people would see what I'm doing on my phone being like, it looks like cloud. It feels like cloud. It does, but it's not. It is literally peer-to-peer, and there it is, 124 gigabytes on my phone. And now I can play back the same file on my phone that's playing back on my my laptop here. I mean, look how cool that is, John. Like, this is the OWC playing back now 2 streams on the same Mac Studio of my file at the same time.
Yeah, it's really incredible. I really, this sort of exact workflow makes me think a lot about maybe documentary filmmakers who are working on a long-term project and need to get back to an interview that maybe they don't have the drive with them, and they're shooting in a remote location, and then they're like, oh, I need to see that original interview with X person. And they can access it right from their phone to refer something to make sure they're getting the story right, a year later or something like that, not have to carry a 100 terabyte drive with them as well.
Exactly.
Really cool.
So I want to do that with you. So I want to invite you to share your screen, and we're going to show your screen here because I want everyone to see how easy it is. Now, John and I are not in the same place. We're far away from each other. And this is the beauty of the technology is John has his own drive. So I want you first, John, to take us through. You could hide Chrome for a second. Let's just hide Chrome for a second. And first, what John will show us is he's got an agent right there, and maybe drag the bottom of the agent down so we can just see the whole thing here. Yeah. So John's got the agent. The agent is what establishes the peer-to-peer connection. So John, tell me about the drive that you've got mounted. Oh, it looks like you got a card and a drive.
I did. I connected a card as you were talking about that workflow. But so I have my Express 1 and 2, my OWC drive connected. And then I also have a CF Express 2 terabyte that's connected through a card reader as well. So those are the 2 medias that are connected to my computer at the moment.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for doing that, because I remember, Pete, someone had asked about like an FX workflow versus a Blackmagic workflow. Here, John grabbed, looks like a 2 terabyte CFast that's ready to go, or is it CF Express? Sorry.
CF Express, yep.
And he's got that mounted. So that could basically go to any number of cameras, right? That's pretty ubiquitous.
Absolutely, yeah. Red approved, Canon R5, sort of across the board, CF Express Type B.
Great.
Media cards.
So that's Christoph. So Christoph, here is a card that could have come from, could be SD, could be CF Express, whatever. And then he's also got a drive there. So what's cool about this is if you look at the bottom of the agent, John has clicked blue check boxes for both the Canon and the OWC Express. And so between those 2, we've got 2 drives connected. And so now why don't you go to Chrome, and let's take a look at Chrome. And now we can see John's got his laptop there. That's the name of the laptop, and it shows the agent. That's the name of his computer. And then he's got the 2 drives there. So what have you got on that? Oh, it's a Canon file, right?
The Canon files are on the card.
Right.
And then the 1 and 2 has some ProRes files in these various folders as well. So.
Great. Okay, so what we're going to do first, I want to try this now, John. This is brand new. I want you to click there at the root. So everyone, we're going to try a combination of combining permissions together. So if you hit the plus button at the root there in the upper right, there you go, and you type in my name, Michael@strada.tech, what I want to happen here is click on the download button there, and you should see see, John isn't updated. We needed to give John permissions. You can't do admin or viewer, John. I apologize for that. But what happens here is John can invite me either as a downloader or editor because he's on the free plan. But you can see if he upgraded, which we'll do next time. That's a good note for us. He has options to viewer and admin. He just can't select them right now. They're blocked because he doesn't have that permission. But if you make me an editor, John, and then you hit invite.
Okay. There we go.
Great. Now, what I want you to do is actually go into a different folder, like go into one of those folders. And I don't know if one of them has material in it.
I don't know why these.
Oh, if you just hit refresh, maybe you just hit refresh. They might just pop up in there. Try it again. There we go. There we go. So inside there, now if you click on mine in the top right, you'll see my face is in there because now I'm in there as an editor. And if you ever needed to remove someone, you could click on me and you could click the 3-dot menu. So click on my face again. And if if you needed to remove a person, the 3 dots, you could say remove them or change them. Right here, you have an option to do this. Okay, so maybe we have an option here. So if you make me a viewer only in this, make me a viewer only. Okay. And now that's a viewer only. Great. And then go to a different folder.
We'll go back here and we'll go to this footage.
Great. Now click on me again, different footage. And now you could change me to a, see, I see it'll follow wherever you go. So this is because you're on the free plan. We want, if you upgrade, you can individually change that, but I'm a viewer there. So make me an editor in this one. We'll do it like that. Okay. So John has invited me as an editor. There are there's a couple of folders he's got, and he has the access there. So what I could do is go to my screen, and what'll happen is if I look in the bottom here, I will see John's computer here. Let me just make sure I find it here. That's probably my eyes just skipping over it. There it is. John right there. So I see John's computer. I see John's got the drive right there. And now I have edit access. He's giving me edit access. So if I go into one of these files, I can see these files. And these files are log files, but they're actually relatively big. 4 gigs, 1 gig, 7 gigs. And I can start playing those back. He's got some portrait material here. I could see that material there. If I go to one of the other drives, was it the Atlas material? Here, these files are huge.
Test,
yeah, 14 gigs, 44 gigs. So here's a 44 gig lens, a file here, which is really high quality. Now, this is log material because we're looking at the original material right here, which is fine. But that's a really good sign that we can see all this material here. Look at, there's probably a couple hundred gigs of footage here, my guess.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of material. And I'm able to go through and access this material and kind of see it right here. So what is really important here is I also have the ability to transfer it. So check this out. I am seeing this right here, but what if I wanted to transfer this file, I could choose to transfer this material as well, which is really powerful because I can do that. But what I'm going to do is John invited me to his drives and I can see these files and play them back and things like that. But I want to invite him to one of mine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to test footage here and I'm going to go to this footage called Planet Earth. And when I go to that, I want to invite John to this. Is it J Hoeg?
At OWC.com.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
So if I go to J Hoeg and I make him a viewer only, what I want to do now, John, is I want you to refresh your browser. So we'll look at John refreshing his browser and watch how quick this happens, folks. We click and now he sees the Planet Earth footage, which happens to be in Colorado, but it says view only. So I want you to right click on a file and try to download it. Nothing happens. There's no way for him to download. He can click play, but since John is view only permissions, he can only play the files. And I'll show you a new trick, John. As soon as the player launches, it'll take a couple seconds here. As soon as that player launches, let's give it a second. If you click on other assets, you should be able to click on a different asset in the same folder. That's fine. If you use the command arrow key, right arrow, you should be able to switch to other clips. If you just like hit command arrow, right arrow. Yeah. And that becomes a kind of a fast way to view things. You can see how quickly you can do that. So it's kind of a nice little navigation option. And if you hit the play button and use the command arrow, you can still switch between them and it will remain playing. So it's a really fast way to thumb through this. And most people, if you use cloud a lot, this should be faster than cloud. You should be saying, wow, it's switching between assets really quickly. And this is in Colorado, John, so it's nowhere near you.
It's really moving quickly. That is very impressive.
Yeah. Okay, so remember, John tried to download, but he couldn't because I gave him view-only access. So I'm going to go back to my computer, and what I'm going to do is go back to John in here. I got to find John is here, and I'm going to switch him to downloader. So now, John, if you refresh, now you should be able to see you now have download access. So I want you to just right-click on one file and hit download right now. We'll just do a quick download. You could put that, hit continue at this point. Click on the OWC drive, and we'll just put it in the root there. And you hit select, and it's going to move a file real quick. You have to hit allow, and there, hit save. And now if we go to the OWC drive, I bet it's done. So that quickly, we've got that. So we made John capable of being able to see that file. There it is right there. Yeah. Now I'm going to do one more permissions change. I'm going to give John editor access, and that would give him, he has edit access. So now watch this, John. Go back a directory. Oh, you can't go back a directory. So you see the planet Earth. If you were to go to your OWC drive on the desktop, let's go to the OWC drive on the desktop. And why don't you just make a folder called Planet Earth? You'll make a new folder called Planet Earth. Okay, and now I want you to put that file in it, and then go to Strada and just like select one of the clips, and then scroll down a bunch and select like a shift click a whole bunch. So we'll just do like a shift click here. Yeah, and now right click, and I want you to use, we'll use a transfer. And if you use a transfer move here, you'll get the transfer option. You should be able to go to your OWC drive, and then you see in here the planet Earth, and now hit transfer here. And now it's going to move those files into your OWC drive. So if you click on the drive in the desktop, we should be able to see all of those files move over. There they all are. So now we've moved files from Colorado to that. So one last test, John. Here we go. On my screen, I am going to go to my OWC Express, and I'm going to make a folder called John Hoeg. And now I'm going to go into my Strada account, and I need to connect my OWC Express. There we go. And there it is. And now I should be able to see John Hoeg. And I'm going to invite you, John, to your own folder here. Oh, I did that wrong. OWC.com. And I'm going to give you edit access. Okay, so everyone, I've invited John to my own OWC drive here. And we're going to go back to John. So, John, I want you to go to your OWC drive in Strada.
Okay.
In Strada. And then I want you to go to the Planet Earth and right-click on Planet Earth and say transfer. And now you're going to be able to, you have to refresh. You're going to have to refresh. These refreshes we're working on, folks. We're working on refreshes. So do it again. There you go. Right-click, transfer to John Hoeg there. Yep. And hit transfer. And now on my screen, watch what happens here. We go to OWC. We go to John Hoeg, Planet Earth. Here come the files right now into my drive right here. So John and I just did we invited him to Colorado, which I did from LA. He downloaded them to his house, and then he was able to now transfer them to my house. So we just moved these files quite a bit, John. They kind of just went probably 5,000-6,000 miles in total transmission, but we were able to do that without paying AWS a nickel. And that's something, isn't it?
It's very cool to be able to just use your internet connection at home and the drives you have on your desk, drives you already own or project drives, etc. Yeah.
Yeah. So what you saw here is we did some permissions work where we could control the permissions. If I wanted John to switch to any of these other permissions, I can do that. And so I can control what he can see and what he can't see. And I can even combine those together. By combining them, what I mean is I could invite John to one folder as a viewer only, and then to another folder as an editor. And so you can combine those together. So John, I just want to thank you so much for doing this with us. I know you're still transferring files. That's great. Thank you so much for doing this. We love your products. And where can we find you and your team? What's the best way?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you again for having us. And OWC.com has all the solutions and all the questions answered right there. You can check us out there, and it takes you to our YouTube and Instagram, etc., and learn about how these products can serve your creative mission.
It's awesome. And they have drives of all shapes and sizes. I've got a Thunderblade here. I've got the Envoy here, the Express, and the Gemini. And these are all just a few. I've got a lot more. So no matter what your budget is or your capacity needs, it's high performance and it's available. Thanks so much, John. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Cool. So exciting to have John there. And watch this on my phone. I want to prove this out on my phone here. Let me just move this over. Proving this out on my phone, what happens here is on my phone, I should be able to see John's computer as well. Since he invited me to it, we see John right there. There's the OWC drive, and there I can see, that Atlas footage that he did. We love Atlas lenses. What Dan Keynes and his team are doing is really amazing stuff. So I can see the Atlas footage lens. This was like a 40 gig file or something like that. I can't remember which size file this was. It'll launch the player. Now we're looking at these big anamorphic log files right now as they're doing these camera tests. And I'm just playing this stuff back. Now it's log because that's what the material is. It's a 40 gigabyte log file. John, you look cold in that shot. But I can view the files, and then if I wanted to look at that other material he had, we could see the other material that he had here as well. So all this is available on my phone at the same time, which is pretty incredible. So the last thing we wanted to do here, let me just do this, is we just wanted to talk about the pricing. So the pricing for Strada is real simple. It starts with a free plan. The free plan is what you get started on. You sign up, you get a free plan. You're able to invite a few people. You can connect as many drives as you want, connect those drives. And then what we allow you to do is transfer up to 15 gigabytes per month. That's basically an emergency. So if you're on a free plan or you're a reviewer and you just needed a file desperately, you could do that on the free plan, the review plan, for up to 15 gigs. So it's an emergency transfer that we will let you have every single month. But if you're going to transfer more regularly, but you're only transferring small files, the basic plan is $12 per month if you do it month to month. It's $8 per month if you buy an annual subscription. So there's a big 33% discount for an annual subscription. And so if you're only transferring around 250 gigabytes per month, the basic plan allows you to move all these files around your team, and you can share them for 12 bucks. And you can still connect as many drives as you want, and you can invite people and transfer those files. But if you're moving many, many, many terabytes a month, if you're up to a terabyte, 5 terabytes, 10, 20 terabytes, now that's where you're paying a lot of money to products like Massive, Aspera, Signient. Those are huge files. Strada's really good at transferring huge files, and we don't charge. It's a flat rate no matter how much you transfer. So if you want to transfer 1 terabyte or 10 terabytes, it's the same price. $30 a month if you subscribe month to month, or $24 a month if you pay annually. So there's a 20% discount if you want to do an annual plan. So you could move 20 terabytes for $24. And it's really powerful. So you can connect unlimited users. So you can invite as many people as you want, and you can transfer as many files as you want. And that's why I use my Thunderbay as a way to invite people and transfer files all the time. It's really powerful. So you can sign up for free. You can try it for free and give it a shot, and use this as a tool that connects to everything else. K Rux on YouTube says, just thinking out loud, I was wondering if the Strada player could make use of LUTs so that whenever viewing OCF, users can at least view the footage in Rec 709. 100%. That is 100% in the roadmap. We desperately want to do it. I don't want to show you log footage like I just did. I hate looking at log footage too. So LUTs are something that we've actually really thought hard about, and that is something we desperately want to build. What we need from UK right now, actually, Kay, you say something else in this. You say you want LUTs, you could review OCF, original camera files. Some people's OCF is RAW. Now, you can't debayer RAW files in Chrome, Safari, Firefox, right? Web browsers don't debayer, but we're working on it. So someday Strada will be able to play back a RAW file in a web browser. Think about that. Imagine being able to take a Red RAW, a Sony XOCN, Canon RAW, Airy RAW, Blackmagic RAW, and being able to play it back on your phone without a transcode with a LUT. That's where we're going. So, Kay, we need you to sign up and join the plan, join the product, start giving us feedback, start using it, work it into your workflow. Strada is a new tool that you can fit into your workflow. We want to capture your feedback. We need you on Discord. And so you got to join the Discord. Pete will give you a Discord invite here so that you can join our Discord and give us your feedback. Your feedback helps us make sure that we're building the right things, and we capture feedback like Kay just did in telling us about the importance of LUTs and OCF and things like that. So join the Discord. And then you can also schedule one-on-one demos. If you want a one-on-one demo, we can put a link. We're easy to find. We do demos every single day, literally every day. We have customers and we onboard them. Yesterday, we onboarded I think 8 people. And so we love to take you through it step by step. And then we learn a little bit about your workflow and how we can get Strada optimized into it. You're not going to find other cloud products. They're going to sit down with you and take you through their product. I'm the CEO. I will sit down with you and take you through this product. And as long as I'm able to do that, I will keep doing it. I will do it until my schedule makes it impossible for me to do that. But until then, I'm here. And my brother, my co-founder, we're here to do it. Austin, our lead engineer, we do it all the time. We love it because we learn from you. And when you tell us what you need, we build it. So it's a win-win. You get a better onboarding experience. We get to capture your feedback and everybody's happy. So get a one-on-one demo. Let us help you get set up. Let us learn about your workflow and make it work. So that's what we wanted to cover today. I want to thank John Hoeg and OWC again for their amazing products and for joining us today and helping us out. You saw the new permissions, you saw mobile, and there's more and more coming. We're excited to make this work for you. So thank you for joining today. I hope to see you all on Discord. Until then, have a great week, everyone. Bye-bye.